Everybody. Just trying to get through some of your questions this week from your personal study report. And not that, well, what I'd like to do is I'd like to show you how I can find some of the answers to these questions. So a lot of time you'll ask questions that, that I've had in the past, maybe previous seminary students, institute students, even, those in Pathway. There's a lot of interesting things that similar people are like, hey, I wonder. But even if they're not, ones that I have a direct question for, there's just a little. I just want to share with you just a little way to study. Just get answers online. So there's this thing called the Google and Thumbum. I just do Google searches. So, for example, there was a ton of questions about Cain this week. There's been a lot of questions about Zion, and so someone asked a question, so I pulled it up, looked at it online, was able to answer the question. But one of them, a lot of you are talking about comes up in the gathering, is Cain still roaming the earth? And we get that question a lot, and I'm like, no, Cain is not still wandering the earth. But to not, just take my word for it, because there's the one random quote by that was attributed to David W. Patton. Anyway, so here's what you can do. You go to your Google and Thumbum. I'm joking, obviously. You go to Google, and you can just go Cain on the earth. Now, please don't tell President Nelson, but I always add Mormon on there, because it'll sort through other Christian faiths, Catholic faiths, whatever, and it really just narrows it down. So here we go. Does Cain still roam the earth? And does this account? Da da da. Now, please be careful. To make sure you're going to the right source. We want to go to sources maybe that are from BYU. Whether it's the Maxwell Institute, obviously from LDS.org. This one right here, this Fair Mormon. This is a good site. This is trusted. This is connected to BYU, so you could go there. Encyclopedia Mormonism, again, not produced by the church, but produced by church historians, scholars, so that's a pretty trusted source. LDS Living, it's not the Ensign, but most everything I read from LDS Living is reliable. So that's a fairly trusted source. Obviously, Cain, where we got LDS.org, anything that has LDS.org on it, you can trust, you can believe. Wiki, you can go there. I go there a lot, honestly, but it's because I do understand. Meaning I have a foundation already, so I could read through Wiki and go, actually, that's not true, and other things are true. But just for this one answer, is Cain still roaming the earth? So we go to this Fair Mormon site. This is how they set up everything. It's always a question, and then they'll give their response. And so this is a great response. Someone else also asked about, what's the difference between the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. See, I've already typed that recently. Tacked on the Mormon thing. Again, sorry, President Nelson. But right here, LDS.org, I looked this up. It was an okay article about Ensign. It, mainly was just saying here's what other religions teach about the tree of life. And so, it was a decent source. It's a good source in that it's from the Ensign. This Ask Gramps guy, he's usually on the ball, but he's not a person that represents the church. He's a Mormon apologist, and so. But this one right here, this one's good. BYU source, right? This is from the man. I just lost my thought. BYU Provo, right? Church owned. Right here, Tree of Life. Anytime you see the .org with scriptures, good information as well. Again, a little bit further down, you got your wiki and your LDS Living. So anyways, I just wanted to give you a heads up on saying, not that I don't want you to ask questions. We want you to ask questions because that's part of the assignment. I am so happy to answer them because a lot of times as I'm trying to, in a concise way, answer your questions, it forces me to really think through and, do I truly understand this? And so it helps me. But some of the questions you could try to figure out for yourself going to the website.